Right now, the best decision of your life might be to finally build your app idea. Even simple apps like this rock identifier are making over 200K a year. Let me show you how you can build apps in 2026 using modern AI tools without any coding knowledge and make it available to millions of users. In the next couple of minutes, you will learn how to build a rock identifier app just like StoneID completely from scratch. I will share with you my exact process on how to set up a successful project that can be later used for your own app ideas as well. We will prepare the app so it can be published on the App Store and be available to every iPhone user on this planet to download. You will be ending up with a working app in your hands that is ready to ship. Hi, I'm Benjamin and I founded tech companies for the past 15 years. Some of my apps reached over 2 million paying customers and became market leader in their niche. If you have a great app idea but don't know how to build it, this is the video for you. It's time to make your idea become reality before somebody else does it. Let's dive deeper into the StoneID app that is making over 200K a year. The first question that comes to my mind is, how do they get users to actually pay for their app? Let me share with you the funnel strategy that StoneID uses. Before making a payment, the user needs to understand the value of what they are purchasing. This can be done with a demo video on first launch. StoneID has created a beautiful preview video of their app. After the user has watched the demo, he needs to pass a paywall and subscribe to a paid service. This approach brings in paid customers right away. There's a 7-day free trial period, but you can expect about 25% of all users will not cancel before the first charge. So every fourth customer will still at least pay once. Let's dive into my full secret tech stack with all required components to launch app ideas fast. For coding, we will be using Cursor AI. It's one of many coding tools that will write and execute code. It offers the latest AI coding models and it's cheap to run. A couple of days ago, it has been acquired by SpaceX for around $60 billion. I use it personally for about $20 a month. With that plan, you can build multiple high-quality apps. Our programming language for the base application is going to be Google's Flutter. It runs not only on iOS but also on Android and web on a single code base. That means you are building your application once and you can still ship it to users on multiple platforms. To analyze the images of rocks, we need to connect our app to some kind of AI model. There are multiple providers out there, but I like to use OpenAI with GPT. Here's how it's going to work. The user will take a picture of the rock. We will take that picture and ask AI to give us all the information about that specific rock. Then the data will be returned to our app and we can show it to the user. For tracking our source code and creating new versions of our app, we will be using GitHub. If the app breaks somehow or there's a change we don't like, we can simply go back to the previous version. Think of it as a safety net that allows us to go back in time and undo any mistakes. The best method to make apps launch faster is building a boilerplate. Instead of starting from scratch every time we build a new app, we will be using components which we previously built because they will be used in every single app. On most apps, there will be an onboarding, a hard paywall, a connection to AI, and also user account management and some kind of settings area. Instead of building the code base over and over again, we will be using the same code base for the next app idea as well. This approach saves you lots of work time and effort. On the next project, you will simply copy that code into your new project folder and you have a solid starting point. Now you can focus on building the functionality for this specific app idea. The technique of creating boilerplates or frameworks has been around for a couple of years now. This is not unique to AI and we are trying to work smarter. In Cursor AI, we will start building our rock analyzing app by creating a detailed prompt. I already prepared it. Let's go through it step by step. With our very first prompt, we are building our boilerplate. We will tell Cursor to build us a Flutter app that runs on iOS. And the next step, we are creating the onboarding for the user, including 3 screens. After completion, the user will be taken to the main view. There will also be a settings area to change any settings for the app, and that will be reusable for all apps later on. And most apps will use a config file. This will store API keys, server connection URLs, and all kinds of settings we will have for that specific app. Since we are using AI on most apps, we need to implement the connection to OpenAI. AI is now coding our boilerplate for us. Using the command flutter run, we'll launch our app in the iPhone simulator. I am very excited to see what AI built for us. The app shows a user onboarding on first launch, and that's already great. The main view is still empty since there are no functions implemented, but there's a settings area on the right top corner. In the settings area, AI implemented an app name, some API keys and base URLs, but let's move them into a configuration file because they are not meant to be changed by the user, but by us internally. The user settings area should be containing functions to change the notifications or the color scheme for the user. Now we have our boilerplate ready and set up, and we can use it over and over again. Over time, we will add more functionality, and we will never have to start over again from scratch for our next app idea. If you find this content helpful to build your app, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a whole lot. And in return, here's a cool picture of my dog. It is time to turn our boilerplate into a rock identifying app. To do that, we will be using AI to implement the specific functionality. When designing an app, I always like to look at it from a user perspective. Think about what would the user like to do in your app. What is the most important function? The less features your app has, the more focus is on the main user flow. The main function here is taking pictures of rocks and getting all information about it. So we will add a large scan button to the very bottom of the main view. But some people might be analyzing pictures they've already taken in the past. So we will be adding a small gallery button as well. Then we are sending the user pictures to OpenAI to get all information about that specific rock. We will roughly outline what information to show for a specific stone, for example the professional name or what type of mineral it is. Cursor will automatically create a prompt that will be sent to OpenAI, including our picture. I think it's always nice to have a loading indicator in the app if there's a longer process going on, so the user doesn't close the app. One last feature I would like to see in our app is a collection of the rocks the user already analyzed. It will allow the user to save their results instead of having to rescan the same image over again. AI will now implement the features while we are getting some coffee. Let's see what the app looks like and if it's actually working. The Rock Identifier app has been launched for the first time. Looks like we can take a picture of the rock here. In the iPhone simulator, it's unfortunately not possible to use the camera directly, so we will be choosing a picture from the gallery. I already prepared some pictures we can analyze. We need to get ourselves an API key from platform.openai.com and implement it into our app. After adding the API key, I tried again and it worked. We just taught our app how to identify rocks by using a single image. This is a major milestone in our app building process because the primary user flow is now implemented. Let's add our rock to our local collection. To give our app a cool branding, we are going to be creating an app icon for it. To do that, I go over to Gemini and let it create an image for us. I will tell it it's going to be an app icon in the size of 1024 pixels or larger. And since we are creating a stone identifier app, I would like to make it the stone with a natural color as a background. The more detail you give Gemini, the more accurate your image is going to be later. Once we have it, we are going to drop it into Cursor and tell Cursor to use that image as an app icon, and it's going to resize the image automatically to fit the perfect sizes for the app icon. The color we are choosing for the app icon is part of the branding, and we will be using this as a primary color to be used in the app as well. So some labels, headlines, or even buttons are going to be in that color. This is going to give our app a high-quality, professional feel. The app is working, but the design still looks very generic, just like a boilerplate. But don't worry, we can improve it by giving AI instructions on what to change. I like to create a color scheme first by choosing a primary color that fits our app scheme. Then we will find a matching secondary color as well as a light background to use. Cursor then can set these colors for multiple elements at a time. We can then work on changing the layout, colors, sizes, or even what data to show. Here is my time lapse of going from our generic boilerplate to a completely styled app. Here's our final reveal of our app that can identify any type of rock using AI. Keep in mind we made this prototype in one day, and you can still push the quality further by keep working on it. I added our logo to the top of the header bar, and I also created some custom graphics to make the onboarding and the main view look much nicer. We went from a plain boilerplate to a purpose-built app design. And this is how you can build an app in 2026 that might be creating some serious revenue. So now we build a full iOS app that is ready to be released into the App Store for potential customers to download. Since releasing an app is a repeating process across multiple of my videos, I put together a simple 10-step guide on how to get your app into the App Store. The guide can be downloaded with the link from the description completely for free. You can download the source code of the boilerplate and the rock identifying app on my website. Just use it as a starting point to build your own software, or simply try it out for fun. The best time to ship your app was yesterday, and the second best time is today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on our next app build.